Welcome back, you guys. Caught Dallas at an awkward moment in the middle of a yawn. Welcome back to Galactic Explorers, your favorite podcast with your favorite channelers, Miss Dallas and myself, Daniella, going through the everyday, earthly, metaphysical, spiritual ideas and topics and your questions with that galactic perspective. So, Miss Dallas, would you bring out our bowl o' topics and see what we have for us today?
Music,
Ooh,
frequency,
I was gonna say, is that all it says?
frequency.
Music and frequency. All right. Well, that ties into a lot of things.
It does. Like, I just got a sound bowl, or a singing bowl, a sound bowl. I love it. And it's so funny is my husband picked it up and just started using it. And he was just like, I really like this. And I was like, oh, I bet you do. And then the kids are like, this is awesome, Mom. Look at this. Look what I'm like, yeah, it's that frequency. It's getting that movement through your body in different ways.
Agreed.
Yeah. Frequency through music.
Yeah, because it's interesting to see who naturally gravitates towards what kind of music,
Oh, yeah.
because every
Yep.
kind of music, different instrument, voice, all the rest of that, puts out a different vibrational note or
Yep.
range, right? Which is representative of a frequency level, which then can be translated into like light frequency and all these other things,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yep.
So it's like stuff you're naturally, I actually wonder, and maybe it's dependent on the person, but it's like, I wonder if, for instance, the music that you're naturally attracted to, if it's stuff that you need to balance you out,
Mm.
like you're using it medicinally in a sense, energetically,
Oh, yeah.
or if it's primarily, or maybe it's a bit of both, to like boost what you already have,
I definitely say both.
right?
What's coming for me right now is like our ancestral lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that was the how we went into rituals.
Mm-hmm.
Or we incorporated like
Mm-hmm.
music or tones or bell, drumming and the flutes and stomping or rattles, right? That's all music in a sense of
Right,
like
same thing.
how
Yeah.
they went into the trances or
Mm-hmm.
their community, whatever was going on in the community, they would use music and tones, right, to
Right.
change that frequency. So it's definitely, I think, what we need and to help balance us out. And then also to like even possibly, if like for us of channeling, like
Mm-hmm.
I use music sometimes. There's some music that I listen to help me channel. And
Sure.
it's just not meditation music, a
Right.
lot of it's different kinds of Viking or, that Norse kind of songs, I guess, to like help me get into a trance in a sense to
Right.
transport me or to help me open up or whatever. I mean,
Because it literally changes your vibration
yep,
by
totally.
immersing yourself in it.
Right. And that's what I need. That's a tool, not all the
Mhm.
time, but it's something to help me get to, a place,
Right.
another realm.
Right. So here's a question for you that just thought came to mind. What then do you think, for instance, of the idea of things like, hmm, shall we say, like really heavy, what they call like either gangster rap, or it's like heavy, what is it, like blood metal and things like that, like the death metal and all of that stuff. So it's like, where is, it's like, how does can that kind of thing serve people? Because a lot of, and I'm not saying like everybody go out and listen to death metal and gangster rap if it's not your thing, but it's like, for instance, a lot of us get told as we're growing up, to not listen to certain kinds of music because they either have certain kinds of lyrics, or, like the music just feels negative, or, like, it's just, that's the devil's music, or, like, so how can even those kinds of representations of what most people would consider like really discordant and really, like aggressive, angry types of music, shall we say, like how could that serve? Like, how does that serve? So it's like, does it have a place? Like, does, it's like,
Oh, it totally
right?
does.
It's like, so what is the significance in place of that even? Because like I remember listening to stuff like, for instance, Eminem and shit, super angry, but
Yeah,
I
but
wasn't necessarily, it's like I wasn't acting out and going and hurting people or doing things or anything like that based off of what I heard from him. So, but it's like, so how can things like that, how can we help people that don't understand how it can be useful? How can we explain how it is potentially useful?
right. So several things for Eminem, who you just mentioned, we'll just use him as an example
Right.
because we started listening to him and again like recently, or some of the songs came through and my husband and I are just like,
Oh yeah.
reminiscing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
it was like, but if you listen to his music, like if you
Hmm.
really listen to his lyrics, his words, it's a passion, it is an anger, it is everything that he had experienced and harbored, that he let it out. And that was a form for him to let it out. And by God, he was amazing of how
Hmm.
he let that out. And a lot of
Hmm.
people didn't resonate with it. And that's okay. You don't have to resonate it, but maybe
Right.
those people too have not experienced of the things that he experienced.
I
So
wonder, Pin, if they can't resonate with it because they don't allow themselves to go to that place. Because it's like he
yeah.
takes you, like you said, it takes you to a place, just like your channeling music takes you to a place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to help potentially a person themselves process their own emotions, like
Yep.
anger, like those intense passion, like all of that stuff through their music.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah,
maybe
most
the people
definitely.
that don't allow themselves to resonate with it in any way or see its value, any form of it,
Mm-hmm.
aren't letting themselves process those kinds of emotions in themselves.
Yes.
I
Because
wonder.
even if you want to use death metal or whatever you want, the heavy metal stuff,
Right.
like
Good
I
night.
have used that
Hmm.
as a tool to when I have some anger come up and I really need to get it out and out, I will put something very heavy
Yeah.
and very just because it does. If I've grown up with the music, I love it. I can listen to anything and everything in between.
Yeah.
I will use that though to get the anger into the feeling. So I know my bands who have that little extra, uh,
Mm.
because it's that
Hmm.
energy. But once the song's over, like I let myself go, okay, I had that anger for a moment. I don't need to carry it and have it
Hmm.
all the time.
Yeah, you were able to express it
Right.
through feeling the emotion of the music and
Mhm.
letting that run through you
Yep.
rather than holding on to it.
Right.
It's almost like a positive way of purging yourself in that sense, where it's like when you get what is it, when you get food poisoning and you have to throw up and your body's just like naturally purging itself to get,
Yeah.
it's almost like you're naturally using it as a tool to purge yourself and go through it and use it and get it out
Right.
rather
It
than
really
holding on
helps
to. Right.
escalate, right? All the emotions and pent up, like that really bad frustration,
Right. So you
anger,
feel it,
right?
so you're not harboring it, not feeling it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing that I do, and I'm in a safe place, and I tell my family, I am doing this right now,
Right.
and
Mom's
I'm
gonna go
going to
into the
be
closet and
screaming,
scream into the woods. Yeah.
and I'm going to be yelling, and I'm going to have this heavy metal on, and I'm going to be, taking my pillow and beating my bed with it or whatever to just really help get that out. But once the song's over, I use it as like, okay, I'm done.
I got
Right.
it
And
out.
so some people though will hold on to that anger,
Yeah.
because maybe they're in a place of anger and this music they resonate with because
Mhm,
everything they're saying or the tempo, the tone,
mhm,
the
mhm,
frequency of it is in that place, right?
mhm.
But those artists, what they're doing is they're getting that out because they're, like it's the
Right.
tool they're using. And then we absorb it because we are in that same frequency.
Right.
Where some people like, oh, that's the devil's music and you're going to go down a wrong road. Well, that's where you as a person have to go, okay, am I going to just enjoy this music for what it is and for what I can feel at that moment?
Mhm.
Or am I going to just hold on to that anger
By
and
denying
being
that
that
I
in me?
feel those kinds of feelings or that I have that kind of
Right. It's, yeah.
level.
So in
I
the
think
rap.
it scares people to think that they may, it's like for instance, the roar that a lot of the death metal singers do,
Mm-hmm.
super powerful way to clear out your fucking chakras.
It is. It's
But I think it
so
scares people that they could make that kind of like guttural, like primal, like that kind of primal is still a part of them.
right.
It scares them to
It
even
does.
bring it up to the forefront because then they think it's going to take them over and like Jekyll and Hyde or some kind of thing. They're not going
Right.
to be
You're
the same person after they bring it forward. Like it's interesting. Like seeing it present and how people react to it kind of shows you like where they're holding, it's like what they're scared of. They're scared of themselves.
right. Right. And
Feeling that kind of feeling that level of emotion.
yeah. And like you said, primal.
Yeah,
We are so unattached with our primal selves
agreed.
that when those people that those bands or groups or even like you know um shamans, and when
Oh
they have their music and their rituals, right, the ritual part,
yeah.
people are kind of like, whoa, I don't know what you're conjuring up,
You're
or
right.
it's this like, it's like, no, that's like our ancestry line. Like
Right.
our people fucking did that. I mean, you go all the way back to wherever,
Somebody. Yeah, right. And yeah.
and where was it
Everybody leads
wrong?
back to somebody that
Right?
did it.
I
Yeah.
could, that's a whole other subject that I want to go into, but I'm not going to go into it in this
Write
one.
it down. Write it down.
um,
But yeah, totally, absolutely.
it is a fear that people don't want to get into because they are afraid of those emotions and feelings and having anger, right? I think it comes to that anger of, I don't want to, well, that's angry. I don't want to be angry. I don't
I'm
want to
not
look
supposed to be.
angry.
I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
be angry. I'm not
And it's
allowed to be angry, right?
right. And some of those heavy metal bands or whatnot, they have their costumes or their
Oh my
makeup or
God,
whatever, right? And
Mudvayne and all the rest of them, and nut butts,
but it's
those
like
crazy psychos.
they're doing that for an act because
Bless
that's what there are. But who
bless
to
them for
say,
the
like,
reflection.
right? Like, what about the Native Americans and the African tribes and stuff? What did they wear? They wore masks and headdresses and makeup
Covered
and,
themselves in red
oh
paint
man,
and blood and
right? Had the head of animals on them.
oh
Like,
yeah, yeah, right.
it's a beautiful thing, and they're two different, but at the same time, it's
The same
going
but
back
different.
into
Yeah.
our roots. And this is a modern day primal ancestral ritual music that comes out in a way showing us to get into our emotions, into a place that is dark and heavy, and maybe we just need to get there for a moment to release those,
Yeah.
that energy, that frequency. And not to guilt herself to listen to that kind of music, and there's some music that is pretty like they'll talk about hurting other people and stuff like that. And that's where I have found that I don't gravitate to that kind of music, and
Right.
I don't listen to that kind of music when it's getting a little violent in the source of, but that's also their self-expression of
Right.
where they have been, what they have
Yeah,
experienced,
stuff they're holding on to.
right? And so it's like honoring of like, okay, you can be in that space, but I don't have to be in that space either.
Right. Yeah, because you
To
don't have to
know the
take
difference.
you don't have to take everything.
No, you don't have to go down that road. You go what resonates with you and
Right.
what you feel good listening to, or you listen to something, you're like, oh, I didn't hear it from this perspective before. And
I
that
can't
is
tell
what
you how many
she
times
like
I've
you
done that.
right, like you said earlier, it's what we need at that moment. And I think music is very powerful if we choose to use it in certain ways for enjoyment,
Yeah.
ritual, relaxing, getting angry, getting sexy, whatever it is, right? It can go in so many different ways if we allow it.
I agree with everything. I'm just sitting here kind of like reflecting and going, uh-huh, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I'm just seeing where it all connects to everything, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's
Right. And
it's
it's like the thought that keeps coming back around, for instance, is that I've noticed that those people that don't listen to a lot of music generally have a lot of pent up stuff.
mhm,
I
right.
just, it kind of just like thought about it. I'm thinking about, various people that I know in my life and have known, and, whether they're, whether they like to listen to music, kind of like whistle while you work kind of thing, like while they list, like whether they liked to listen to music as a matter of course throughout their day, or whether or not they didn't, and they almost had like an obsessive need for silence in some cases. I'm thinking about, and I'm kind of wondering, it's like, what is all that about?
I think silence too is pretty amazing to be able. I mean, how many people can literally sit with nothing on,
Yeah, no fans, no nothing, no
nothing on,
TV.
right?
That's an interesting concept.
And
Silence.
just sitting
What
in
is the
silence.
frequency of silence?
Like how far can you like I see that oh oh yes.
So
Yes.
if
Like
music has if music have set frequencies, right, that are representative, it's like, what is the purpose and frequency of silence?
but is anything really silent if you really think about it? Like if you sit in silence, like how attuned can you really go? Like what do you hear, right? Outside of yourself? Do you hear the cars? Do you hear the wind? Do you hear the
Right,
trees?
but if you could actually get perfect silence,
Silence.
top of the mountaintop silence with no wind.
On a perfect sunny day. I think it's very tranquil. And I think it's a place where you can listen to yourself
Mm-hmm.
or have your thoughts just go, right? And even with that is still chatter in a
Right, you
sense.
still it's not silent. It's like, I wonder if you could actually ever truly be fully silent.
Sure, you can. I mean, think about monks,
I know, but are they actually silent? Do we
right? Because they
really
have,
know? Do we really know what's going on inside of their heads when they're doing their meditation? Because technically, if they're doing a meditation and they're doing the mantra, then they're not silent,
right? Are they singing bowls or bells and
right?
chimes?
Are they toning? Are they repeating a mantra in their head? Are they, letting the monkey
Breath
parts
work,
go
even
by? Like,
breath,
we assume that they're silent in there, but we don't know.
right? Breathing.
Not
It's
silent.
not silent. You have to breathe.
not silent. Your
But like,
heartbeat. If you get silent enough, then you can hear your own heartbeat inside your
oh,
body. Also not silent.
I'll tell you this.
It's a
If you
fun
ever
exercise though.
floated and you have all the sensories off, that it's a moment where you can hear your heartbeat. And every time I have people come out of our float rooms, they're like, I heard my heartbeat. I couldn't do it. I heard my heartbeat. It's like, oh yeah, did you? Did you hear your
You
heartbeat?
hear your own self. You are
It's
alive.
amazing. And people are
You
like, I
are
don't like that.
free. I don't
Like,
like that. Yeah, I don't like being connected to the fact that I'm actually a thing.
hey, I'm alive.
And
And
that
I
I'm
can hear
alive.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, Nelly.
Okay. Talking about not wanting to be connected to the primal, that takes it to a whole other level. Please add that as a footnote to whatever thing that you're gonna add to that bowl, because that is like
Right?
a very good point to bring up about that experience, the whole thing where it's like, I don't like listening to my own heartbeat. What?
It's really funny.
That should
I
be
don't
like
like
one
listening
of
to
the most
silence.
soothing things to you ever. Should be, quote unquote. But it's like, think about it. It's your own heartbeat. So it's supposed to be so in tune with you naturally.
Right?
It's something you could always tune into to calm and center. It's like it is a part of you. So if you're so disconnected that you don't even like the sound of your own heartbeat, that it's unnerving to you. Oh, oh,
What's
oh,
that all about? Tell me more.
right? That's wild.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah,
that, not being okay with certain frequencies,
right. That your own frequency
of it from the heart, even no
from
less,
your own heart, from your own body.
because that's its own frequency too.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's pumping out frequency further than the eye can see constantly.
Yep.
Just that sound, boom, 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 is literally pumping out a frequency,
Oh man.
right? Oh, that's gonna be
Yeah.
a good topic. I'm glad we had this conversation so we can have other
Yeah.
conversations in the
This is
future.
this is great. This is I love it because it just opens up so many doors and you just like things you think about, but then now we have a place to say it and like
Yeah.
it's share it. I want to share
And
this
yeah,
with
like talk about it and kind of ponder it. And then, as you know, it's like as the viewers, like when you guys have thoughts about it, what do you think about it?
you.
What do you
Yeah, where
think
do you
about
go?
these things? What do you think about music and how it affects you, or how you use it? Um, how
Or
you've
what are you
seen other
scared
people
of?
use it? Yeah, how? Yeah, does it scare
What
you?
do you
Like,
fear?
just yeah,
What kind of music makes you really uncomfortable? And why does it make you uncomfortable? You don't like it. Well, what don't you like about it? It's not forcing to go like this kind of music,
right,
but like
right.
just ask those questions, right? That's how
What
you
don't
kind
you
of go,
like about it?
yeah,
What is it triggering in you? What does it make
right.
you feel that you don't want to feel, or think about that you don't want to think about?
Yeah. Where in your life was this a wrong? Where was this
Right,
a negative experience for you?
right.
What feelings that comes up that you go, mm, mm.
Now
Oh,
I'm
the
thinking about, now I'm
joys.
sitting here going, now you've done a number on me this time where I'm sitting here going, yeah, what's
Music is where it's at for me. Like when
yeah.
I create or channel or meditate, I love music, any kind of
Mhm.
music. Like I love it.
Oh yeah.
And I can sit in my car and not play anything
Yeah.
and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the scenery, enjoy where I need to go or a conversation and not have to have the background music. Because sometimes we do, I think, need a break of the constant chatter, right? We're
The
in our car, we
background.
go
Yeah.
home, or we're on our phone, like it's constant. Like let yourself like
Yeah. The
detach from
constant
that.
overstimulation that
Yeah, it's
we can do
so
with ourselves.
stimulating.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's we feel we need to be stimulated, right? We have our coffees, we have our teas, we have our music, we have the
TV goes
podcast, we have
on. Yeah. Netflix, Hulu, HBO, all the, yeah, like everything you could think of. Yeah.
where can we just so sometimes my car is my silent place.
I like
Even
that
though
idea.
there's still noises,
Right.
it's just it's kind of like the white noise.
Yeah.
where I can't control that, but I can control that I don't have to have something in my vehicle stimulating me.
Right? All the
I
time.
need to point A to point B for a minute.
As I'm sitting here yawning and processing. You got me this time, Dallas. You got me. Nice.
Oh!
Nice job. I love you so much. But yeah, so out there, y'all out there in the world, how does music affect you? What ways do you notice that you feel? What do you like? What do you not like? Have you thought about why you don't like it? Share all that kind of stuff with us.
Yeah. Use it in a practice or something and let us know.
Yeah.
Try something out. Let us know how it works.
Yeah, share your thoughts on like the different ways that music and frequency, like play a role in your life or have played before, or how, like what you observe other people going through too.
Yeah.
Share it out. Share your experiences. We love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Right? And to that point, if this was helpful, if it was mind expanding, if it, gave you a new perspective to think about things on, like, subscribe, share it out. We're on all the platforms. We've got the video recordings of these up on YouTube. We've got the podcast versions of these up on Spotify and Anchor and Apple Play and all the awesome, wonderful, random little places. So come and check us out all over there. Share it out. And yeah, see how music affects you. Check in. Think about it.
Yeah.
How does the music that you listen to affect you? What does it make you feel? How can you use it as a tool, like Dallas is saying, to help you process maybe some difficult emotions that otherwise you might not be able to be letting out and that you're holding on to? Can you use it for your own benefit?
Yeah.
Thoughts to think. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Go listen to something after you're listening to us. Go listen to something. Right? And we will we'll catch you on. I was gonna say, just listen to this the exit music that we've got going on right now. Because I had ding, that's funny. But actually, yeah, I put music here, Play with it. Go have fun. Listen to some music. Think about how it makes you feel. Have a great time, y'all. Thanks for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next time.